I'm back with another episode of Conversations with Jay. I got a special guest who came all the way from Detroit, Michigan, to rock with me. So first, let me say I appreciate that, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Hey, I'm Kevin Midas, CEO and co-founder of AXUM conglomerate, Young Black Billionaire, and soon to be the wealthiest man in modern history.
Okay, so once again, before we started the interview, it was like I come off a little quiet spoken, but you just spoke with a lot of confidence.
I mean, it's quietly said, though, you know.
So where did that confidence come from?
Just like mental fortitude, going through a lot of things in my life and having to develop it within myself. I've always been a unique individual, and I grew up in HP, which is it's like a suburb in the center of Detroit, but it's the hood, you know. Right. And I was the kid that was wearing skinny jeans and skateboarding around and watching anime in that kind of world. So you got to kind of be confident in yourself to be able to handle that.
I know coming up in a black community as a young person that rides skateboards and watch anime, for some reason it always came off as you were the weird person in the room.
Facts.
How did you navigate through that? Because I know that had to be mentally draining, period.
It was mentally and physically sometimes too. But I just embraced it. Like, yeah, I'm the weird person in the room. No, those that stand out are the ones that are outstanding. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be like everybody else. I didn't want to be told. I'm really against authority figures. So anytime in groupthink. So anytime someone's saying like, "Oh, everyone's going that way," I'm instinctively going to look the other way first because it's like I don't trust that.
That's an awesome way to think, because once again, growing up where I grew up, you know what I'm saying, for some reason it was never cool to be smart. Like, even if you were, you had to dumb yourself down for everybody around you. So that's something that I never learned to grow out of as a kid, but as an adult, I look back on life like I was tweaking, because I had a teacher that actually saw more in me than I saw myself. Yeah. And he was like, "Man, you should be on the debate team." And at that time, I'm like, no, why would I want to do that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's not cool. But as a grown up, I really wish I would have embraced that and went down that path, because who knows where that would have took me.
For sure. I've had teachers like that. Sixth grade, Miss Carter had a huge impact on my life. But I think the biggest thing was my dad, for sure, because my dad never put me in a position where I had to be anybody but myself, and he never let me like fall into any other lanes. Like, nah, do you, and anybody that's out there telling you otherwise, stand up for yourself.
Right.
And my dad used to be a boxer, so he made sure I knew how to handle myself in that regard.
Right. I think he equipped you with the number one skill in life, and it's to one, respect and love yourself, and to go after what you want to be in life. Because I have two kids of my own.
Well, I got one.
And I always let their moms know, like, it's up to us to find what our kids are great at and surround them by that. Even if it don't work out, even if they don't want to see it through, we still have to surround them with that and get them the opportunity to love something.
Yeah. So my son now is 2, and I always tell his mom, our role as parents aren't to dictate what their life is. It's to give them the tools to live their best life. Like, what are your interests? I'm not going to tell you do this. I'm going to ask you what do you want to try, and like, hey, I want to try ballet. Cool. I'm gonna buy you all the stuff for it. If you want to do it for a month, whatever. Like, I gave you the opportunity to try it. You tried it, didn't like it. Whereas when I was a kid, it was a different world, you know. So a lot of the things that I wanted to try, my mom would explicitly tell me like, "Oh no, you can't do that because it'll come across as feminine or like white or something." Right. So you know, I had to like go on my own a lot because I didn't have that opportunity presented for me. I had to go take it and find it myself.
Now, something you just spoke on was coming off as sounding white. Now, that's never been something that I could understand, because just because you talk proper and you don't use slang, that doesn't mean that you talking white. Yeah. That means you're speaking like a person. So it always bothered me when I would hear black people automatically change up their tone, and I would know it wasn't them, to like pander to other people, and that always bothered me. Like, I'm the type of person that I would respect you as long as you are whoever you are. Like, you don't have to fake like you something to do anything in this world. Yeah. If somebody don't like you, they don't like you. They never gonna like you, no matter how much you pander to them.
Yeah, for facts. But so I don't believe in pandering or changing like I don't necessarily change my tone, but I for sure change how and what I'm saying. My dad again always told me the greatest strength that we have as black men is that you can exist in both a boardroom and in a trap house. So I can go in the boardroom and like, oh, the vertical integration, but I could also walk in the trap house and be like, yo, my niggas, have y'all heard that new? So I can speak both of those languages. And I don't think I'm switching my tone. I'm just adapting my vocab to where I'm at.
And that's what to me makes a black man powerful in this world. You know what I'm saying? If you can adapt to any situation that you in, and you can once again have a dinner with a Fortune 500 CEO, you know what I'm saying, and then go back to your friends and they don't see the change in you. Nobody can see the change in you. I think that's what makes everybody more powerful as people.
Yeah. And even just the external acceptance from other people, like what I'm wearing right now, this would be appropriate for me to walk into a boardroom and sit and have those kind of conversations. But also, because I'm a black man, I can go walk somewhere and start shooting dice with somebody. They might be like, oh, why you got an interview today? But no one's going to question while I'm there. But if it's a white dude, he's in that boardroom, then he walk and start trying to shoot somebody somewhere. Oh, that's the ops. That's the, for sure. You got a wire on. I'm not trusting that, bro. We're going to move our game over here.
All right, now you spoke on it a little bit, but how was it growing up in Michigan?
I grew up in Highland Park, like I said. That's basically Detroit, completely surrounded by it. So that's effectively where I grew up, was Detroit. And it makes you strong, because Detroit is like hustle culture for sure. You have to know how to go and get it. I always like to tell people I've done stuff in the film video industry. When I was in LA one time, this project, they didn't have like a reflector shield. So they just like, oh, we're going to cut for today. We're going to go buy the reflector shields. Let's meet back tomorrow. In Detroit, we didn't have the reflector shields. We're like, oh, bet, let's go to the dollar store. We got a box of cornflakes. We got some aluminum foil, and we made a reflector shield. And to me, that's the most important takeaway I've gained from Detroit.
Man, that's super dope, because that's another key to life is adjusting to your situation. If you don't have the proper funding or finances to get the professional, it's always another way to do it.
Yeah.
So, man, that, like you just saying that took me back to like, I want to say I was like 14, 15 years old. And we had never had cable TV ever. Like,
right, yeah.
Ever. And I'm in high school hearing everybody else talk about what they watching on TV. And I'm watching Channel 9 all day. You know what I'm saying?
What was Channel 9 for y'all? Was it like...
It was WGN.
WGN word.
Yeah,
okay.
WB too.
Yeah. Word.
So what happened was I had a VCR, and for some reason it was just always a long piece of cable in my bedroom closet. Like it was just there when we moved in, and it just stayed there. And I was like, let me go hook this up in my mom's room. And I ran the cord all the way to the cable. I mean to the VCR. Yeah. Hooked the VCR into the TV, and we had cable.
Facts.
So my mother, she didn't have cable because she ain't had a VCR. We did. But at that point, I was like, man, this is crazy. Me just deciding to say, hey, let me see what I could pull out this situation. Yeah. And there it was.
Oh, yeah, bro. Man, when I tell you, so when I was, before I was 12, I lived with my grandmother. It was one of those situations. All the cousins live with Granny's house, right? And she was very strict, like not even corner to corner. It's like you stop at that house and you stop at that house. And that was my world, except school. That's all I knew were those house to house. As soon as I was 12, I was living with my mom and I was able to go anywhere. So I've been reckless ever since of I'm not going to wait for the opportunity. I'm going to go make it. If I don't have they'll tell you if I don't have enough to do something, I'm like, bro, it don't have to be perfect. We're going to find a way to make it happen. Even if we got like a shitty phone camera and we're shooting videos off of that. Whatever we got to do, we're going to get it done.
And that's just powerful in itself when you think about getting or elevating to the next level. Yeah. Because you have to start. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong at. Sometimes even myself, it takes me a while, or I don't even start the idea that I just came up with in my head. And that procrastination doesn't allow me to grow. So you learn that at a young age to just go with what you got, and then once the situation improves, then you can improve the situation.
My main thing has been I never want to be a wannabe person. In the sense that I'm like, oh, one day I want to do X or one day I want to do Z. If I want to do it, I'm gonna just go do it. When I was young, I used to do music, and I was like, I want to be a rapper. I found a microphone and I got downloaded Cool Edit illegally off of a torrent. And next thing you know, I'm learning how to mix off of YouTube videos or Fruity Loops or whatever at the time, LimeWire. And that was me doing it. I didn't have the money to do it, whatever. My dad gave me like $20, go buy a cheap PlayStation microphone, do what you got to do, and figure out like how to turn my closet into a studio. The McDonald's cardboards and shit.
All right, I want to know, what was your first job?
My first job? Checkers. Yeah, Checkers. I only worked there for like maybe a month. I overslept one time, and the manager called me, and she was like, because she was my mom's friend, so she was like, "Oh, you can still come in even though you missed like 3 hours of work. Are you sure you don't want to?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm straight." It was like, I'm good actually. I think I'm all right.
Yeah, that's not the job for me.
Yeah, but the one straight out of college was a Kroger, a courtesy clerk. So that was like what I consider my first, because I actually worked there for a while. But I also quit that one because I used to have to go get carts, and one day it was raining. She's like, "Oh, go get carts," and it was like in the rain. And at the time, I had got like a slight promotion. I was doing some other stuff, and I'm like, I don't really want to. She's like, "If you don't go get these carts," I'm like, "Oh, don't even worry about it." So I just left because I just couldn't make myself go get carts in the rain, man.
So how did you being able to just say, "Man, this job ain't for me"? How did that help you as far as becoming an entrepreneur?
Because unfortunately, I do that all the time, where I'm quick to put myself in a situation of pressure, where it's like, okay, even sometimes like, oh, this job is really cool and going well, but I feel like I'm settling. Like I was an electrician for a whole year, and like I saw myself on that trajectory. I started seeing that future, but that's not the life that I want. So I quit, and I told my dad, I was at his wedding. I'm like, "Hey, I'm going on the road to see all 48 states," and he thought I was joking. Next day he called me. I was on a Greyhound headed to Missouri, and I went and saw all 48 states. Now I put myself in a situation where I'm like, I'm on the road. All I have is my savings. How can I survive? So I learned how to make money while on the road. So I just put myself in really bad situations to make myself think of how to get back from zero. Because I'm not afraid to be at zero. I've been there my whole life. Right. I'm more interested in learning how to come up from it.
I got to sit back on that one. Because not a lot of people can just say, "I'm just going to let fate take its course."
I mean, the confidence thing. I know my end goal. I know my journey. I'm not afraid about the interim in between it. Just going through the cycles until I get to the right wave of what links. And that's what we do now. It finally linked. We had a lot of opportunities and startups and stuff that we tried along the way that it just wasn't right. But we tried, it failed. Cool. We don't look at it as failure. We look at it as a lesson. Like, now we know what not to do the next time.
Now you have what is it? Is it a group? Is it a fraternity called Young Black Billionaires?
Yeah. Young Black Billionaires is a private members club dedicated to wealth, power, and love. It's being created and building right now. I envision it as ideally like the Black Freemasons, but I was also in a fraternity in college, so some elements of that play into it. But for us, the most important goal right now is developing a community of young Black people and teaching them about financial literacy, entrepreneurship, marketing, the stuff that we don't have access to learn easily. Right. I'm glad that a lot of things are in that realm. Now people are really dedicated to doing that. For us, it's also about the community aspect, though. Like, oh, we can all sit in a room together and like hang out and talk about this stuff and then go to social events.
So what's the not to go, but how do you get involved with this private group? Like, if I want to join, how do I join?
Young Black Billionaires, just reach out to us. We talk amongst ourselves to decide if this person makes sense or fits, and then I like to introduce them to each other to see like, oh, does everyone like link? Does this make sense in that regard? But yeah, just reach out to us. It's a very early structure, so we don't have too many definitive routes outside of that yet. It's one of our growing aspects.
All right, now if I came to you with an idea for you to invest in, what would be the best way for me to present myself to you?
Be authentic and true. I'm just a dude from the hood who read a book. You know what I mean? I'm not like I don't want to discredit myself, but I'm nothing. I don't consider myself anything incredible, and I don't consider anyone more important than anybody else. So if you come to me and you say I have an idea, I sit and I take you serious and I listen. And if the idea sounds legitimate and you got like Turner's the number guy. So if you got some numbers behind it that makes sense to him, then cool. Like, let's do it.
So how did you actually meet these two gentlemen?
So for people that don't know, Tanko and Turner, they are my brothers, my best friends. I met Lennon Turner in 9th grade at Renaissance. Then I got kicked out of Renaissance High School because I don't do homework. So I had to go to Oak Park, and that's luckily where I met Tali. And both of them, it was also like, I'm very good. I'm very adamant about energy and like this is the universal truth. You know what I mean? So both of them, it was that instant idea of as soon as I talked to them, it was like, cool, now we're friends. And it lasted since we were 14.
All right, now I don't know if this is I don't know how to pronounce that word. It's a label. It said you were a brand manager for it.
Kaleidoscopic. Yeah, that was actually my first. So when I left college, my homie, shout out to Craig Blackmore, he started a label, Kaleidoscopic label. And at the time, I was still making music. So he reached out to me because he had heard like a mixtape I released or something. And but I went to college for English and psychology. And I just wanted to be a writer. But when he presented the opportunity to me and he saw what I was doing, I was like releasing mixtapes with like stories, short stories attached to it, different, ideas to try and breach through the noise. And so he was like, oh, damn, bro, I got this song that's really popping in Ireland. My label's kind of growing. It's just a net label. But I'm trying to do he had a really interesting structure. So I came along to help him with the marketing. And that's when I took the title brand manager and I started getting into the marketing world. So that was fun.
All right, now a year ago, I actually launched my marketing company. It's called Think Ill Marketing.
Word.
And I found it very difficult to actually start marketing.
What aspect of marketing were you doing? Like digital, SEO?
I'm doing digital.
Okay.
I just started getting into the SEO because at first I didn't know how important it was.
Yeah.
So as far as working with, I work with artists and small businesses.
Okay.
So as far as the artists, it's extremely important for their SEO to be strong.
Yeah.
And I just really started. I just started a service for YouTube where I guarantee you at least a 80% SEO on YouTube. If I don't do that, then I'm gonna work until I get it there. But I learned how important it was just for my Think Ill marketing because my kids had a YouTube channel and their YouTube channel was popping up before mine. They had more subscribers and everything. So I'm like, why is my kids popping up before mine? Like I can't have my kids out here. They don't even know what they doing. It's
just accident, yeah.
And I was like, man, my goal is now to be better than my kids on YouTube. So I challenged them and I told them right now they have more subscribers than me. So I told them if they keep getting more subscribers, then I'm going to help grow their channel also. And then I'll buy them whatever they want.
That's good parenting. But
I started, using those keywords to make my search stronger. Now when I search it on Google and everything, it pops up, top. Yeah. So it's still, like I say, been kind of hard to get for me to actually get my foot completely in the door as to marketing major artists or even a major company. So how did you get into it?
Really just having the opportunity, and I like to learn. So also, when I was younger, we've all grew up in the millennial age. So when I was younger, I wrote blogs and stuff. So I kind of picked up on SEO just naturally from being on WordPress or whatever. But getting the opportunity through Kaleidoscopic, I read a lot, I learned a lot, and I mostly focused on branding. And I just learned digital stuff as it went along. And then thankfully as well, once I had the opportunity, I'm that person I'm talking to everyone, I'm saying hi, I'm asking for a chance. And so I got multiple jobs along the way. Marketing wise, this was after we started Mythoid, but we worked with Keller Williams Realty, State Farm Insurance, Black Sheep Collective, a couple other random ones here and there. And each time I just learned something new. I don't always know what I'm talking about when I walk through the door, but I know how to sell myself. Right. And once I get that chance, I know how to go home and read the books to then do what I got bought for.
Now, you say going in the door, you may not know it, but you still put yourself in a position to accept the opportunity and learn as you go. How important is that to you?
Very important. I think there's something to be said that you have to. I think a very important element for anyone, any human, is charisma. If you have the capacity to make people believe in you, then you can kind of do anything. So if I can walk in that door and make you believe, like, oh, I'm really going to be able to deliver on this, then now it's on me to deliver it. But I can make you believe in me. And once you give me that check, I'm like, cool, I can go home, I can learn it, and now I can like bring the opportunity.
Now you say you went to school for English and psychology.
Yeah.
So how much did that psychology play into your overall mindset now?
I don't like it does, but I try not to be into it because like humans are individuals. Psychologically, there's an overview. So there's a lot of things that you can identify. Oh, these are certain behaviors. These are the cause by that or whatever. And you can follow that track, but you don't want to fall into that trap because then you're trying to think like, oh, everyone is going to react like this. And it's not true. Everybody has a long series of reasons why they do the things that they do. And that's more important, to have like both the broad and the granular.
Now you say you from the hood, and that's basically Detroit. I'm from the hood in Chicago. Right. Now, what I do know is we both were born with a chip on our shoulder.
Facts, yeah.
Now, if I had to ask you one way to grow wealth, what would that be?
Have smart friends. Like facts. Like not even joking. A lot of the opportunities and stuff that we're doing now, I don't know everything about, and I'm glad because I don't need to know everything about it. Real estate, Lennon handles that division. Merchandise, Tali handles that division, and Young Black Billionaires, I handle that. So in all honesty, real estate is probably going to be what gives us the most wealth and return, and I don't have to like sit and learn every detail of it. If you have smart people around you and people that are doing like as driven as you, then it'll always make you be more driven too, and have a good attitude about it. When my homie makes 10,000 or whatever, and I only make like $1 that day, I'm not like, oh, why did he make 10,000? I'm like, yeah, bro, you made 10,000. Now I want to get like you. Matter of fact, what did you do? Like, teach me and inspire me.
It's cool that you got a strong team around you. I don't think a lot of people understand how important it is to actually grow in this world by having the right people around you. Because like you say, it could be something you not hip to or you not the best at, but at the same time, you got other people around you that can pick up that slack for you. So what's the best way you think to weed through people that are important or that you can grow with? What's the best way to go about that?
From our experience, not only is it time, but it's action. We've lost a lot of both friends and business partners because you can't inspire people to want something or even to do something. So if you're saying that you want this, but then you take no action towards it, that says a lot more than just the fact that you want it. And, anybody can sit at the table and say, I want to be a millionaire. How many people can sit at the table and say, hey, here's what I did today to become a millionaire?
Now, it says that you're a managing partner of 5 different companies.
Yep. So I am, as I said, CEO of AXUM Conglomerate, and we have the structure the very frustrating structure that we have right now is that AXUM is a holding company, and underneath that we have about 5 now, I think, subsidiary LLCs, as well as like some investments in other things and some things coming along the pipeline, ideally.
Now, are you into like tech startups, or it doesn't matter what type of startup it is, like you say, as long as the numbers are right? Yeah,
the closest thing we've done to a tech startup would be Let's Flip Michigan, which was we have a realty company, AXUM Realty, and Let's Flip Michigan was an extension of that. That was the website to help investors find good homes and properties and stuff. And I have someone I'm in talks with right now for hopefully a good tech startup idea, a couple of them, but we haven't done anything directly with it. Most of ours have been, and this is just kind of my goal in life. So this is my little pitch for AXUM, but Black Americans collectively spend about 12 trillion, I think it was 12 trillion every year. So our goal is to just obtain 1% of that market share, which is 1.2 billion. So we create companies like in real estate, fashion, private entities, private members clubs, and media and production, those kind of little zones here and there, a soap business soon. And we just try to like pick up bits and pieces. And it's like explicitly to Black people, because if you buy from us and we just get 1% of that, we are now $1 billion company. And then we can worry about reaching everybody else.
That's super dope for you to say, because instead of like a lot of people, they try to go in and they try to conquer. You know what I'm saying? So for you to pick out a certain niche and say, okay, we're just going to simply attack this. This is going to make us strong enough to attack the whole base. Yeah. Like, that's super cool, bro. Like, I'm not going to lie to you.
I have a lot of heroes. I mean, it's like the list goes on, like a lot of hip hop artists especially. But I think for this case, Jay-Z and Warren Buffett are good examples. But Jay-Z came out with his rap. I don't want to demean it. It's Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? He came out with art. And he then made that vertical extension to like, okay, now I have Duce, I got the 40/40 Club, I got the sports agency, all these different lines. And like, he's not necessarily the leader in any of those industries, but you don't have to be. I just need to like take a piece of that industry, and from there we will become like billionaire. You know, he became a billionaire not by like, oh, this company is the number one and whatever. It's like, nah, I got all these different investments going on. It's multiple streams of revenue and income.
Now, it's a lot going on in 2020. 2020 has been a wild year.
Yeah, too wild. And
how has the pandemic strengthened you or slowed you down?
I hate to say this, but because I don't want to disrespect anyone who has had a pejorative experience through COVID-19. But for me personally, it's been more of a benefit. It's given me the opportunity to be home more, to save more money. I like also kind of like chill out on chasing things that don't need to be chased. And it's also made like our partnership stronger because we're meeting more, we're talking more. Like, there's nothing else to do really. It's just like I'm focused because I have nowhere else to go. And thankfully, I've been in a position where I haven't had to worry about like losing money, or I did lose a family member and, you know, whatever, but I haven't had anything that's negatively like stopped my trajectory. But also nothing, like I don't look at the world like that. If something negative happens, I don't look at it as stopping my trajectory. It's just giving me, it's putting me on a different trajectory than the one I thought I was supposed to be on.
I want to say, like, you sitting right here right now is a prime example of what having a strong black man in your life exudes, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us grow up fatherless, or we end up looking up to the wrong people.
Yeah.
And that sends us down the wrong path. So you see your father, tell him I said salute to him as a black man.
No, I appreciate that.
You know
hey, no, and salute to you. Like, even what you said about your kids with the YouTube, I'm going to go, my son's only 2, but I'm about to go like set up his YouTube stuff right now just because you said that, because that's ingenious, no joke.
Man, it's crazy because I got this camera right here, and I had a lesser Canon. It was a T3i.
Yeah.
And I gave it, well, first I bought my daughter a laptop. So I told her, take care of the laptop. I'll get you a better laptop. I bought her a little cheap camera. She took care of the camera for a whole year, and I gave her my T3i Canon. Now, why I gave my 8-year-old a Canon, I have no idea, because she eventually lost it. But I didn't know that I was planting seeds for her to actually jump onto YouTube and start shooting her own videos. And now she's doing montages, and she's editing the videos herself. Like, I had asked her the other day, she was like, I just made another video. I'm like, okay, let me look at it. And I asked her, like, what are you using to edit? Like, I saw she downloaded, I saw she gave Google permission to iMovie, so I knew she was using iMovie, but I still asked her. And she was like, I'm using iMovie on my phone. And I'm like, why you not using your computer? You know what I'm saying? But now I know I have to get her a MacBook, you know, and I had to get her Final Cut Pro.
And or at least Premiere, right?
Right. I got to help take her to the next level as far as what she's trying to do, because she don't know that I'm super excited for her.
Right. But the important thing is that you identify that, and you didn't just like, you know, like hear her say it. I was like, oh, cool, keep doing your little editing thing. Because like, a lot of people do that too, where somebody is doing something, or at least you can tell they have an interest in it. And it's just like my mom used to tell me all the time, oh, you so business-fied. And at the time for her, it was just like, you know, just like a little joking thing or whatever. And thankfully my mom is pretty supportive of me. But for a lot of families, that like they just demean what you do, and it's just, oh, that's just a little side hobby. Go get a job, you know?
Yeah.
But when I was a kid though, my dad, he told me, it's a white man's world, but you can at least get a piece of the pie. And I'm like, nah, bro, like F that. I'm going to make a bakery, and if they want pie, they can come buy it. And so like, I don't know, I guess that impressed him in some way. And he asked me like what I want to do and blah, blah. And at the time, like I said, I wanted to do music. So I told him my little stage name. I don't use it anymore, so it's really dumb. But he gave me the money to go like register like a LLC and trademark it and all that. And my dad's just he's just not just but he is a construction worker. He's not Like, you know, I didn't come from a rich family. I didn't come from like some super executive mind. He just recognized a skill in me, and his big thing was exposure. I didn't only see Detroit. My dad took me to like Disney World and Troy and Taylor on a freaking construction worker salary. Not even at the time, he was at Farmer Jack, so for a grocery store worker salary. But he made sure that I got the chance to see whatever I like. That there's things outside of just the hood.
So what's next for you?
What is next? All right, so go to newblackbottom.com. That is our newest clothing line. Hopefully by the time this is out, we'll have an email capture on the website. We're working on a new show through Mythoid that's going to be called Misandry 101. That's cool. Young Black Billionaires is forever trying to figure out what it's doing. I don't know what's happening on the realty side. Lennon's handling all that, but he's been showing houses, so that's always cool. And just in general, it's staying the course. Like I said, becoming a billionaire is just the first platform for me. I have a much higher ambition. We were talking today about trying to buy a city, so I guess that's where we are. Because I'm always like I tell people, I think XYZ, Tali is ABC, and Lennon are the letters in the middle. So I'm like walking in the door like, hey guys, I think I could become the wealthiest man in the world. Tali's like, cool, I support you, but like let's like make a website first. You know, let's do the operational stuff, and then Lennon will come in the middle and like dissect and critique everything we do. So our team works well that way.
All right. Do you want to give any shout outs to anybody before we get out of here?
I mean, I feel like I've shouted them out enough, but I can't, like, they didn't have to drive with me today. You know, I can't express how like important Tali and Lennon have been in my life. My son, Horace, and just anybody who's ever in general supported me in any kind of way. There's been times in my life where I felt like I was nothing, but people around me have made me always feel like I was something, and I carry that. I carry those people strongly in my life. One day I'll send like some anonymous check to a few people that don't even know it's coming.
All right, I want to say I appreciate you once again for taking that drive from Detroit all the way to Chicago to just sit down with me and chop it up. Right. I feel like we had a nice, productive conversation, and I feel like a lot of people can gain some motivation from this. So once again, thank you.
Yeah. Right. Well, on the mic, actually, I want to say that I found your post how I did, but when I reached out, I went and actually looked up the podcast, and I was really impressed by what you and everybody at Think Ill in Illinois have done, like the exclusivity of the podcast, this room that we're in. So shouts out to you and Biko for sure, because I was like watching that. It's like I was talking to them about ideas of what we can do, just being inspired by that. So I do hope somebody feels the same about this. Absolutely. And I have a Young Black Billionaire shirt in the car for you as well.
Appreciate it. Once again, thank you, because I don't know how you came across the post on Facebook.
I didn't know if putting out people's names, but it was Arnika Rome.
No, I don't.
She shared it. I don't know.
No. She rap. Yeah, I know Rome. I know Rome. Shout out to Rome.
Yeah, I used to like listen to her music back in the day, and we're friends on Facebook. And she shared it. And honestly, this is my first interview as CEO of AXUM, because AXUM just incorporated like 2 years ago. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, when I watch your like video, I'm like, oh, this is the perfect person to like be first, because I liked what you guys were doing, right. And I felt like there's some kind of synergy when you do stuff like that.
Shout out! I know her as Shorty Rome.
I know Rome. That's funny.
she rap, and I actually met her a couple years actually through the music and through the internet. Yeah. So shout out to her for connecting us.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. So once again, man, appreciate you for coming through. This has been another episode of Conversations with Jay.
Hey.